ask what on earth the Republican Party thinks it's doing. Congressman Claudia Tenney is with us, Republican from New York. Sorry to introduce you in that way, Claudia. A good friend of the program. But it does occur to me that your party, GOP, has abandoned financial restraint. I mean, it has, hasn't it?
Look, I didn't like taking the vote on the budget, but our military is really important. When General Mattis tells us the biggest, most dangerous enemy that the United States Army and military faces is the U.S. Congress, we need to act. Our military has been suffering under CRs for 36 years. We finally got a deal with the Senate and, amazingly, Chuck Schumer on board. But remember something, I'm so sick of hearing people say, you control government. I'd like to say, wouldn't it be nice if we didn't have a 60-vote rule? But I would argue that on the Senate side, we don't even have 51 votes. We have a lot of Republicans that are registered that way, but they don't vote that way, and we can't rely on them for really important issues. But remember what this budget does. It deals with discretionary spending. The big project coming up that the president talked about in the State of the Union is the that was non-discretionary. We're talking about the non-discretionary side, I mean, and that is dealing with the problem. We need to start working on the entitlement issue. Entitlements are a huge problem. There's a lot of fraud, abuse, and waste. I come from New York, where the greatest fraud, abuse, and waste exists, and we need to start attacking that. I see in the president's budget 1.7 trillion in cuts are anticipated coming up for that. So let's
Claudia,
look at,
how many times have I heard this before? I mean, I've been doing this for 40 years. I've almost every year. Yeah, stop it.
You look good.
All right, okay, just stop it right now, okay? But seriously, every single year we've got to cut waste and fraud. This year we're going to do it. Never happens. Never happens.
But listen, you said to me, you're never going to get, well, I can't put the British accent on it. You're never going to get tax reform done. And we did. And look what the results are. We're doing really well in my district. I'm hearing from people every day, middle-income taxpayers to medium and large-sized businesses, all doing extremely well because of the tax reform in New York. As long as our governor and our Democratic-controlled government doesn't destroy our tax reform, so we've got to start this. This is a chess game.
Okay, you got
and
me.
Unfortunately, it's a chess game. We can't just go in and clear off the player just because we have a couple of bumps in the road. You can't just clear the players off the field. We've got to go through this systematically. But we also, if we're going to increase growth and we're going to bring jobs back to New York, we also have crumbling infrastructure, so you've got to deal with that at some level.
I've got to ask you that. I want to ask you about that specifically. In your district, obviously you've got infrastructure plans in your district. Who pays? For the infrastructure plan in your district, who pays? Do I pay as a taxpayer, or is private enterprise going to come in and pay?
Well, I think the interesting thing is what's happening now is that just from the tax cuts alone, we haven't gotten to where we want to be entirely with them. We are seeing already investment from the private sector. That's most important. But you also have infrastructure in roads, bridges, and our water system. We have some of the worst infrastructure in our communities, and a lot of it is the fault of New York State because we have been taxing and spending our taxpayers into oblivion with entitlements, which are enormous. We need to address that. We've done that on the federal side. Think about what the tax cut did. We used to give a lifeline to the richest in our communities, and now that we've rolled that back, given a little bit of a tax break to a lot of our middle and lower income taxpayers and our businesses, you're going to see actually growth, because now the lifeline, the loopholes that the Democrats always decry are gone. The wealthy are going to be paying more. The small businesses, the job creators, those people are actually getting a break, and they're investing in infrastructure. They're building buildings. They're creating jobs. They're lifting wages. That's happening.
You got it in. You got it in. And I hope you like our new graphics. Take a look. Claudia, thank you very much indeed for being with us. Much appreciated. Thank you.
Thanks so much. Appreciate it.
All right, where we're going to